Okay, this meeting is being recorded. Thanks everybody for joining us for General Manager Nico Harrison's first draft night availability. We will go ahead and get right into questions unless you have anything you want to say first, Nico.
No, let's jump straight into questions.
Okay, as a reminder, please say your name and your outlet as you are being called upon. We'll start with Mark.
Nico, good afternoon. Mark Caldwell, Mavs TV broadcast. Great to talk to you.
Mark,
thanks for the time.
Good to see you, Mark.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Just jumping right into it, how would you characterize the amount of conversations that you're having on this draft night leading up to the draft and the intensity of those conversations? By that I mean, are people putting serious offers on the table, or are you still gauging each other's negotiating posture at this point?
Yeah, no, great question. Actually, I think it's a combination of both. You got some teams that are just throwing stuff out, seeing if it sticks. You got other teams that are very serious. So it's kind of a combination of both. And then in terms of the volume, let's just say my phone has to be charged 24/7 because it's tons of phone calls.
Awesome. Chuck?
Hey Nico, Chuck Christine, Mavs Radio. Talk to you.
Chuck, good to see you.
Chuck, can you turn yourself up a little bit, please? Your volume on your computer.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
Nico, I was just curious as you're building a team, what does a Nico Harrison team look like? What are the traits that you most desire? We look at a team like Orlando and John Hammond, and he's always looking for length, and Charlotte seems to prefer guys that have had success on the college level, at the high college level. What is your philosophy that you think will really be a trademark of what the Mavericks will be?
Chuck, I think you're going to see versatility. Players that are versatile. I mean, everything starts with our superstar guard, and so really when you have that, it's like, what can we do to actually make him better and help him win? And so you're going to see shooting, length, I think intensity in terms of defense, and then also rebounding.
Skylar?
Hey Nico, Skylar Dixon with the Associated Press. I'm sorry I missed the big intro day. I was kicking butt at the blackjack table in Vegas. So I look forward to meeting you in person at some point.
I'm glad you were kicking butt. That's good to know.
It's somewhat of a symbolic day because the first round pick is tied up in the Porzingis trade. How do you see the keys to maximizing the value of KP going forward?
I really think it starts off with the coach and the culture, and I really think when you bring in a coach that's really going to coach him up, give him the confidence, put him in positions to be successful, I think that's going to elevate his play. And I think we're going to get the Porzingis that everybody wants to see.
Tim?
Hey Nico, it's Tim Cato from The Athletic. Appreciate you giving us some time. I was just curious, now that you've been on the job a couple months now, I think, approximately, and this is their first time talking to you since the press conference. What has surprised you, or what have you learned about what this role consists of as compared to your obvious previous stop at Nike?
Honestly, Tim, I think the biggest thing is that with Nike, I was there for so long. Like, I knew the ins and outs. I knew what to expect. I knew the rhythm. I knew the flow. Here, I'm jumping straight into the fire, and so I'm learning the flow as I go. So, and it hasn't been 2 months. It's only been 2 weeks. So I'm literally jumping into the fire and learning on the run, which is actually great. It's going to serve me well. It's a little difficult now, but as we get through this, it's going to serve me well.
Dwayne?
Dwayne Price at Mavs.com. Nico, I know when you get hired like this, one of the first things you want to do is impress the boss right away. And right away, you don't have any draft picks. So how difficult it is to want to impress the boss right out of the gate in your first draft?
Yeah, I mean, the boss is smart, so he knows we don't have draft picks. So for us, impressing him isn't going to be what we do today or tomorrow. It's a long-term thing.
Brad?
Hi, Nico. Brad Townsend, Dallas Morning News.
Good to see you,
A
Brad.
couple things. Have you guys, do you guys know yet whether Richardson is going to opt in for the? I don't think the deadline is until Sunday, but sometimes I'll let you guys know early. And then, are you guys even is trading into this draft feasible at all to you guys, or is that not on the table?
Yeah, so we don't know about Josh, what he's going to do. We're in communication with him and his representation, and they have a few days. And I think for them, they're probably looking at what their options are. There's so many scenarios that are being played out in real time. So I think they're going to use probably the full time to figure it out. So we won't know until they let us know. And then, I'm sorry, what was your second part of your question?
You're muted, Brad.
Yeah, I just asked about the feasibility. Is it even feasible? You guys have an interest in trading into this draft?
Yeah, I think it's feasible, and there's tons of teams trying to get out of the draft. But I think if you look at our roster, we're really young, and you know the way Michael Finley says it all the time, it's like our young guys are rookies. It's like they get to do their rookie year all over again, you know, with the actual summer league, and so you know having an option to go up to the G League and get minutes and stuff like that they didn't get to do last year. So I really think for us, when you look at roster spots and how young we are, it has to be something amazing for us to try to get in there.
Dorothy?
Thank you.
Hi, Nico. This is Dorothy Gentry with iMessenger Media. Thanks for your time today.
Hi, Dorothy.
Here's my question. I'm curious. You talked about servant leadership during your introduction. How do you use servant leadership to build a roster, to negotiate, to do the things that you need to do as general manager? How does that work out?
I think servant leadership, it starts with everything. I think some of the things that people really don't pay too much attention to is how the staff is. You know, the staff that works with the players, whether it's the coach or the medical staff or just the people around the team, they're touching the players every day. So how are they coming to work? How is their attitude? And that actually plays a part to the team. It's going to rub off on them, good or bad. And so when you talk about servant leader and you enable them to actually make decisions, that's going to make the team feel a lot better. So I think that, and then now you talk about how do you communicate with the players. And so I think servant leadership helps the whole ship rise.
Okay, we are going to do these last 4 hands that are raised. If your hand is not raised, we are going to cut it, so you don't need to worry about raising any more hands. Eddie?
Hey, Nico. Eddie Sefko, Mavs.com.
Hey, Eddie.
I'm just wondering what you think about the speculation that Russell Westbrook could be coming back to the Western Conference and what that does to, if it does happen, the balance of power that already is very, very difficult, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, there's one basketball, so everybody can't dribble it. So I'm more worried about the Mavs than where Russell goes.
Ian?
Hey Nico, Ian of A to Z Sports Dallas. I just was wondering, with your experience at Nike and then your first 2 weeks here on the job, what differences in talent evaluation from your time at Nike to working with the Mavs have you seen, and what kind of skills kind of help you with the overlap?
Yeah, I think probably in terms of talent evaluation, I think I probably have a little bit more of a cheat code. So most of the kids that I've been evaluating, I've known since they were young. So it's more than just their actually can they play basketball, but really their mental makeup and the people that are around them, their family, their support staff, and knowing that. So I call it kind of a cheat code. And then in terms of what can transfer over, I think it's the relationships of the players and not just the basketball players, but also the GMs and the presidents and the coaches that are in the league.
Okay, Chuck, we'll come back to you, and then Skylar, and we'll be all done.
Hey Nico, can you tell us a little more about like people who are working around you? We know about Michael Finley and heard about Andrew Baker coming from Brooklyn. And with that, what does that mean for somebody like Keith Grant, who's been involved with Mavericks forever and obviously has worked with the salary cap so much? Just what is his role with you?
Yeah, so I could barely hear you, but I think you were asking about Keith and Michael Finley, and then and Baker. Yeah.
obviously asking with your salary cap guy with Andrew Baker coming in, and Keith obviously has done a lot of that in the past,
Yeah.
and obviously Mike coming along with you. What does that front office look like for you? How does everybody answer to you?
Right. So I think first, Keith Grant is amazing. He's been like a pillar to the Mavs organization, and he's going to help me a lot. So I don't think that takes away from Keith. I think if anything, it's additive. I think he's not going to be bombarded with so much. Michael Finley's already been with the organization, so he's going to stay pretty much in the same position. We're going to give it a little bit more structure and flow to it. And then Andrew Baker is just additive. You know, we've had a lean team in the past, so we're just adding layers.
Okay, last one, back to Skylar, and then we'll wrap up.
This is playing off of Dwayne's question a little bit. I know you're new to the GM role, so you don't have a lot to compare it to, but is it weird to go into your first draft without a pick? I mean, what's the day kind of been like for you?
It is a little weird because everybody's congratulating me and thanking me and wishing me good luck for the draft, and we don't have a pick, so I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. It is a little weird, but I say this, like, I'm still talking to all the teams. Teams are still throwing out scenarios, so there's still a possibility that we can get in if there's something that we really love. But it's like a dry run, I guess. It's going to serve me well for future years.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Nico. Everybody, as a reminder, we'll shortly have B-roll in the Dropbox that was